This is Maggie, owned by Don Peterson from Keystone, South Dakota. And Don, I'm going to go through just some of the fundamentals of working your pup on steadiness, and kind of maintaining that. This is something, you could have someone help you with. I think your granddaughter likes to be around the dogs and hunting, so you need two people to do this. But what I did here, I got field decoys set up to get the dogs used to decoys. And then I always start on land, just because if they make mistakes, it's easier to fix those at first. So a couple things I've added. The calling, that's new to her. And of course the gun in her mind means go, so I'm working on her waiting. So I'll give her a few chuckles on the call. Then I use mark to alert her. Maggie! Send her on her name. Now when she gets this deadfall, I want her to return to where I sent her from, which would be back to this platform. Heel. Sometimes you might just have a spot, hold, drop, that you want her to work off of. Just a spot in your blind. Heel, sit. So a good thing, a little trick that I found works really good, instead of always sending them from the spot, I actually will have her come over to me on heel. Sit. So I'll move away. Mark. Sit. Heel. Sit. Maggie! So that's a good little thing to practice if your dog is, tending to break on you. Another thing you can do, I always tell people, if they're breaking, don't be afraid to stake them down and, put like a slip lead on them in a ground blind. Sit. Drop. Or if you're in a blind where you can attach her somehow with a short leash to a collar, don't clip them to their e-collar, because you don't want that twisting, those probes, twisting on her neck. But don't hesitate to clip them down to restrain them. They'll actually help them kind of self-teach to wait. Here. So I'll move over to the height of pooch. So anytime I want them to go in something or on something, kennel. Kennel. Kennel is the command. And I'll kind of repeat that here too. Usually I would just use my hand. Sit like that. You can, if you want now, stay. So I don't care what she does in there, as long as she doesn't come out of there. Mark. Maggie! Again, I'll send her on her name. If she doesn't go, then I'd go back to fetch to try and get her going. Here. Good girl. Heel. Heel. Sit. Drop. Kennel. Kennel. Means get in. And I'll do that same thing here. This time I'll call her over. Stay. It's just every once, and when I do these, I just mix it up on these dogs so they have no idea what I'm going to do. Mark. Here, here. So that was good. Here for you to see. Kennel. Kennel. Here. Kennel. So you saw how I handled that, Don? No, grab another rooster. So I'll repeat that. So what I'll do this time is I'll actually remind her. Sit. I just gave her a little nick on the collar. So you saw how I handle that. Mark. Heel. Sit. And then you saw I opened my gun, that little sound, that just almost triggered her to go. Maggie! So if they don't make a mistake, you don't get to see how I correct it. Here. There's another bird out there, so I'm going to Here. Good girl. Heel. Hold. Heel. Sit. Drop. Sit. Feathers out of her mouth. Maggie! I'll send her back out there. Here. You gotta get a good grip on it. She does have a little softer mouth, so just let her grip it. And here. Good girl, Maggie. Heel. Hold it. Sit. Drop. Good. Then on this platform, kennel. Sit. I'll do the same thing. Good girl. I'll just tell her, here. Here. Sit. Use the kennel word to get up on there. So now I'm going to be, she's up elevated more. Sit. Ready? Mark. Watch. Ready? Sit. Maggie! Here. And I like to try and get these pups to return where they came, where I sent them from. Heel. Here. Here. Come on. Heel. 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 Good girl. Sit. Drop. So she's used to, jumping up with that bird in her mouth up on the platform, or, if she's in a blind. Here. Sit. Just at least coming back to the spot. She got to try and bring it up to something. Sit. Mark. Ready. Sit. Maggie. And this is really Don to show you, her being in close contact, being shot next to. Here. Birds are a little big. Here. Good girl. Heel. Here. Heel. Come on, Meg. Heel. There you go. Here. Sit. Hold. Drop. And I know she tends to have a little softer mouth, so just let her get a grip on it. And then, jumping up with that, carrying that weight, so, it's just practice. So that's Maggie, owned by Don Peterson from Keystone, South Dakota.